In 1978, I went to a local family planning clinic to be told that I was pregnant, and all I said is, what am I going to do? And they handed me a list of abortion clinics. There was no counseling, no options, no choice. I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know where to turn. And I went to an abortion facility, and I told them I wasn't sure how far along I was. And I thought I was in my 11th or 12th week, and we went by that. And when we went to do the abortion, the doctor said, oh my, she's a lot further than we thought. And I thought I was in my first trimester. I didn't know that a child had arms and legs and fingers and toes and heartbeat even weeks before that. If an ultrasound had been offered to me, I would have been able to see. But not only I could have made a better informed decision, my doctor could have. And that abortion that was supposed to represent my reproductive freedom eventually ended my hopes of having the freedom to reproduce at all. I ended up getting pregnant 18 years later, only to miscarry again and again and again. And I wasn't told of that risk either. I've been blessed with 2 children through adoption, and I'm so thankful for their birth mothers who chose life for them. I only wish that I had been offered that choice. And I wasn't told about the emotional trauma that I might experience, about nightmares, depression, pain and grieving and guilt, and emotions that would haunt me for years. And I tried to think of reasons to justify my decision, that dreadful decision, my age, my education, public opinion, my family's opinion, what would they think of me? And I thought of a lot of good decisions. But 32 years later, I've never found one good enough. And I remember the nurse holding my hand and telling me that it would be over in a minute. And it's not over yet. The reality of a child lost is difficult. The reality of a child lost due to fear, selfishness, and lack of information is more difficult, not to mention the manner in which her life was taken. I still miss that child. I miss that child. And I miss the children that I miscarried. And I miss the grandchildren that they could have given me. And I miss the generations that follow. Post-abortion support and healing has been wonderful to heal my broken heart and restore my heart. But they can't restore my children, nor the generations that follow.
In loving memory of my son, Ismael Jonas, I didn't stand for what I knew in my heart I wanted to do. Keep you, my baby. Today, I promise I will speak for the ones like you without a voice. I love you. I miss a part of me. I can't wait to meet you in heaven so I can feel my life complete. Te amo, Mama. I'm from Brandon. Yes, Michelle.
My name is Sandy. I'm from Eustis. At the age of 16, I had everything going for me. A perfect GPA, honor society, cheerleading, and a real chance of achieving my dream of becoming a pediatrician. Instead of that, I became pregnant. When I told the father of the baby, he became extremely abusive and demanded that I get an abortion. He delivered a compelling speech. It's legal, and if you refuse, I will take care of it myself. I was afraid to tell anyone, and I did not yet have an educated understanding about fetal development. Although I pleaded for time to think about it, he drove me across state lines to take care of the problem. We spent all night in the car waiting in the parking lot of the abortion facility so I could be the first one to enter the building that dreadful morning. That was one of the longest nights of my life. As I sat there in that cold, dark place, afraid to breathe. As it turned out, I really didn't breathe again until 26 years later, after going through post-abortion counseling. I was transformed that day in April 1983 from a strong, determined woman to a passive, depressed person. Having my unborn child ripped from my body at such a young age and vulnerable time in my life created long-lasting traits of lowered self-esteem, a sense of helplessness and hopelessness, and suicidal thoughts. I found comfort in feeling guilty and tolerating abusive relationships. The memories of the smell of the clinic, the sounds of the suctioning, and visual images of the tubes haunted me to no end. I had swallowed the typical lies. It's just a mass of tissue. It won't hurt you. Now you can go on with your life. What life? After realizing you've killed your own child, life becomes distorted. After the procedure was completed, the doctor made it very easy for me to remain sexually active through taking birth control pills, which I anxiously hid from my parents. In spite of their efforts to keep me safe from pregnancy, I became pregnant 3 years later. I gave birth to a son, but I did not know how to parent him properly because I was still struggling with my past decision. As a result, I fell in the trap of excessive pampering, treating him as if he would vanish if he left my sight. Abortion does not affect the pregnant mother in isolation. It affects all those who come into close contact with her during the aftermath of abortion. My son suffered from social anxieties for many years. I became very weak of wearing a mask, hiding my secret, and walking in silence, and I refused to remain silent anymore. I mourn for the baby I lost to a cause that has no merit. I will use my experience to help other women choose life, the only choice that will leave them with dignity and wholeness. The laws of our country need to be changed so that women are truly informed about fetal development and the consequences of taking another human being's life. The very word abort means to stop midstream. In other words, abortion terminates a life that would otherwise continue to thrive and flourish. All women deserve the right to know the facts about human life and the tragic stories from post-abortive women. Most importantly, the sanctity of human life needs to be held to a higher position within our country, as this is our greatest treasure. Ultrasounds must be required in every abortion clinic throughout this nation.
In loving memory, Savannah, you would have been 18 years old this summer if Jenny and I had not made that terrible decision. We deeply regret not having the blessing of loving and raising you. You are loved and missed. Of William.